morning, everyone. I'm Jessie. Welcome to Sunday Morning Yoga. Today we're going to be practicing Chandra Namaskar moon salutations in honor of our full thunder moon today. We're going to be doing a cooling breath since it's so hot out. And we're going to be doing some figure fours since yesterday was, yesterday was 4th of July. So when you're ready, we're going to begin in a seated pose. Any comfortable seated pose will do. We're going to start off with our breath, our pranayama, our cooling breath, and then we're going to move right into centering. So choose a position that will be comfortable for you. This breath is really good to do if you're overheated, if it's hot outside, if you have some anger issues going on. The hottest part of the day is between 10 and 2, so it's a great breath to do then. And just like anything else, our pranayama, when we focus on our breathing, it's yoga. It's a meditation, so it's kind of nice to do that. And while we're getting ready and waiting for the last few people to join us, I'll give you a little bit info about the breath. So in this one, we inhale through our mouth and exhale through our nose, but you want to curl your tongue like a straw, and you inhale the air through the straw tongue that you have, and then we're going to exhale through our nose. Not everyone can curl their tongue, so if that's an issue for you, you inhale through your teeth. And out through your nose. I keep my tongue curled the whole time, but if you prefer not to keep your tongue curled the whole time, you can place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth as you're exhaling. So we're going to settle in here. Any comfortable seated pose is fine. Anything you could be comfortable in for a few moments of centering, some pranayama, taking some time to shut out the outside breath. So settle in here, good contact with our sits bones. We're going to sit up nice and tall, bring our shoulders up, back, and down, a little military tuck to our chin. If you like to do a yoga mudra of any kind, you can choose that. Yoga mudras are to direct the flow of energy in your body. So they're the hand positions we do during meditation or during yoga, anytime. So a lot of us are familiar with the thumb and finger together. They all have different meanings. So settle in here, close your eyes, and begin to take a few soft, full, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale through your nose, filling your belly, ribs, chest with air on the inhale, and then allowing your chest, ribs, belly to relax and let go on the exhale. And just begin to let everything from the outside world drift away. Give yourself permission to be present here in this time, in this space. Pranayama. You can curl your tongue like a straw. Inhale through your mouth. Exhale through your nose. Continue on in this way. Tongue curled, sipping air as if through a straw through your mouth. Exhaling through your nose, or perhaps inhaling through your teeth and exhaling through your nose. here slowly, begin to bring your attention back to your breath and into your body. Check in here, see how you're feeling. Do a body scan, head to toe, toe to head. Just notice any areas of tension or strain, anything you need to work on or be cautious of today. You can also scan through your thoughts and set aside any worries or concerns for this time. You can set a goal or an intention for your practice today. It's my cat, if you can hear her. And then we're just going to start with a gentle little climbing stretch. So we're going to lift first one arm up and then the other. We're just going to go from side to side, moving at your own pace, moving with your breath. You can add a little side stretch if you like. You can let your drishti or your gaze follow your hands so you're looking up at it. Just move at your own pace, moving with your breath. Try to keep your shoulders from creeping up by your ears. We're just going to do one more on each side. Then we're going to come back to center, and we're going to take whichever leg is on top or in front. So for me, that's going to be my left leg. I always get confused whether I'm a mirror image to you guys or not. So I'm going to say left leg. I'm going to use my left leg, and just make sure you do everything on both sides. So we're going to do a little rock the baby or cradle the baby first. So we're going to lift our foot up. You can hold it in your hands, your foot and your knee in your hands, in the crook of your elbows. Or for me, it's somewhere in between. Let your spine round a little bit. And we're just going to bring that leg side to side, across the front of our body. You can raise and lower your knee if that feels good. You can do little circles. Just starting to loosen up our hip to prepare for some of our figure fours that we're going to be doing later. Or not really later, because we're going to do it in a moment. But here we go. Nice figure four. So we're going to extend our right leg. There's a couple options here. I hope I'm in frame. You can bend your left knee with your left foot on the inside of your straight right leg. You can bring your left ankle on your right thigh, or you can bring that right foot in. You can press into your hands and either move your bottom towards your heel or move your heel in towards your body. We're using the leverage of our ankle against our thigh to press our knee away from our body. So we're opening up our hip a little bit, bringing a little bit of stretch into it. If you're comfortable with your feet, we're going to thread our fingers between our toes, which is really good to do for our feet. Our shoes tend to close our toes in. Giving them a little space is good. If you're not used to it, it might not be the most comfortable thing. You do get used to it though. You can start off with toe spreaders. And from here, we're going to rotate our ankle. Just nice and easy. Still using the leverage of our ankle against our thigh to press our knee away from our body. So we're adding that little pressure to our hip stretch without feeling any pain. Switch directions if you're rotating your ankle. Point and flex. Good. One more breath. We're going to bring our ankle and our foot to stillness. And we're going to come into like stacking logs or double pigeon. So again, your right leg could be straight, or you can bend your knee. You can stay here if that's more comfortable, or you can kind of fold your right leg down. So it's a little different than our easy pose or half lotus, because we're trying to line up our ankles and our knees, and we want our shins kind of parallel to each other. This is not my best pose. So in an ideal situation, both hips are grounded into the mat. Our knees and ankles are lined up. You see I have some space here, so that's a little bit of a ways to go. If my husband was here, his legs would be like this, and that's as far as they would go. So all of that is fine. Just listen to your body. Sit up nice and tall. And again, you could have that right leg straight if that's more comfortable. We're going to inhale, lengthen our body. Exhale and twist. I'm twisting to the left. You can use a hand in front and behind, or you can use your hand on the outside of your thigh to help propel you around. You can look over your shoulder if that feels good. Always coming back to soft, full, deep breaths. And we're going to untwist back to center. We're going to release our legs. Do a little windshield wiper, little bounce. Just loosening up any tension that may have built up from those stretches. And then of course we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to start with our rock the baby or cradle the baby. So this is my right leg here. Knee and foot in your hands, in the crook of your elbows or somewhere in between. And we're just loosening up that hip. You can bring that leg across the front of your body. You can lift and lower your knee. You can do little circles. You can close your eyes. Turn your attention in. See what you need, excuse me. Nice and easy. Loosening up that hip. Good. And then we're going to do our figure four on our opposite side. So again, you can start with a straight left leg, right knee bent with your foot on the inside of your straight leg, or you can bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. You can stay right here, or you can bend that left knee. Again, pressing into your palms to bring your bottom towards your heel, or sliding your heel in close to your body. Our focus here is the leverage of our ankle against our thigh to press our knee away from our body, so we're opening up our hip flexor. Even if your leg is straight, you can still achieve this. Good. Breathe into areas of tightness, backing off if there's any pain. And then again, if you're comfortable, we're going to thread our fingers between our toes, stretching our toes a little bit. Be nice to our feet. They support us all day. Good. And then you can use your fingers and your toes to help rotate your ankle. And switch directions. I'm losing my pinky toe there. There we go. Point and flex. Good. Still using the leverage of our ankle and our thigh to press our knee away from our body. One more breath. We're going to come back to stillness. And we're going to come into stacked logs or double pigeon. Again, you could just be straightening out your left leg, or you can kind of fold your legs on top of each other. We're trying to make a little box here, so it's a little different than our easy pose or our half lotus or lotus. We're trying to line up our knees and our ankles, and we want both hips grounded into the mat. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Breathe into those tight hips. Visualize them relaxing and releasing with your exhale. And then we're going to add a twist. We're going over to my right. So we're going to inhale, lengthen, exhale, and twist. Hand in front behind. Or you can use that left hand on the outside of your right leg to help give you a little bit more pressure, a little bit more easing into the pose. Look over your shoulder if that feels good. Soft, full, deep breaths. Good. We're going to untwist back to center. We're going to release our legs. Little windshield wiper, little bounce. Anything that feels good. You can do a little hip walk. Lifting one hip up and then the other, going forward and back. Forward and back. One more little hip walk. And then from here, we're going to transition into table. So we're going to be coming onto our hands and our knees with our wrists and shoulders in alignment, knees and hips in alignment. Good. Let's just do a little cat and cow tilt here just to loosen up our spine. We're going to inhale, lift our head and hips, going our back into cow. Exhale, drop your head and hips, arching your back into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. And then a few more at your own pace, moving with your breath, flowing from one pose to the next. Nice and easy. One last cow. One last cat. And we're going to come back to a neutral spine. We're going to curl our toes under, straighten our legs, and come back into down dog. Spending a little bit of time here, moving, stretching, walking the dog, whatever feels good. For me today, I'm thinking about lifting my tailbone and pressing into my heels so I get those nice long hamstring stretches. You can roll your inner elbows towards each other, whatever feels good here. Good. We're going to do one more breath, and then we're going to take this to a modified side plank. So we're going to drop our left knee down to the mat. We're going to roll to the inside of our right foot. You can keep your left hand where it is or move it under your left shoulder. We're going to inhale our right arm up and around. Thinking about as if someone is pulling your hips by a string towards the ceiling. You can try to stack your arms one on top of the other. Your your gaze could follow that right hand. And if you want to extend this, you can open up your heart chakra a little bit more, bringing that right hand behind you. Good. One more breath. We're going to come into table, back into down dog. A few breaths in our down dog. Good. One more breath here. And then we're going to do the same modified side modified side plank on the opposite side. So we're going to bring our right knee down to the mat, move our right wrist under our right shoulder, roll to the inside of our left foot. And it's okay if your right knee is pivoting here. We don't want to hold it rigid in place. That can put undue pressure on our knee. And then we're going to lift our left arm. You can think about that imaginary string pulling your hips towards the ceiling. You can stack your arms in a straight line. Your gaze could follow your fingers. Or if you want to extend this, you can open that arm even further, turning your heart chakra towards the ceiling. Keeping your breath soft, full, and deep. And from here, we're going to come back into table, back into down dog. A few breaths. We're going to walk our hands back towards our feet until we're in a ragdoll. Anything you like to do with your arms here is fine. They could dangle, maybe they're touching the floor. You could fold your arms, making a little box for your head. And then we're going to shake out any lingering tension. Just let our arms and hips sway from side to side or forward and back. You can bend your knees, you can shake out your head, your neck, your shoulders. Visualize tension and stress draining away from our body. Let it go. We don't need it. Do a little balance. Whatever feels good for your body here. No rolls in our ragdoll. Good. One more breath. We're going to release our arms. We're going to slowly roll up to standing. Up on the inhale and pausing into Utkatasana, mountain pose for a moment. Coming back to center. Checking in, see how you're feeling. Remind yourself of a goal or an intention if you set one at the beginning of class. Good. And then from here, we're going to start with a little side stretch, a little baby balance. We're going to let our weight come into our left foot, and we're going to cross our right foot, or right ankle over our left ankle. You can be on your toes if you need to be, or you can come to the flat of both feet. Try to keep your hips pointed forward. We're going to inhale our arms up. Interlace our fingers with our index fingers up, shoulders away from our ears, a little crescent moon, side stretch over to the left. Turning our heart chakra up a little bit. Your gaze could follow, come up towards the ceiling, or you can keep your neck in a neutral pose. We're going to come back to center, release our hands, little back bend, and then exhale, fold forward. Reaching out as you come down, lengthen your spine the whole time down, just like in a sun salutation. We're going to inhale, look up, exhale, fold a little deeper. Maybe your fingertips are touching the mat, or maybe you have a block here. Good. We're going to do one more breath, and we're going to add a twist. So again, your left fingertips, fist, palm, whatever reaches, or they could be on a block, and we're going to inhale our right arm up and around for a twist. Struggling a little is fine. Losing your balance is fine. Bring both hands back to the mat. You can try to keep your ankles crossed, or you can uncross them if you need to. Put a little bend in your knees and use your core to bring it all the way back up. Hands down. Utkatasana. Same thing on the other side. So again, we're laying our weight ground into our right foot. You can just do the little crossover with your toes. You can try to line up your feet, bring the bottoms of both feet to the mat. Whatever works here. We're going to inhale our arms up, interlace our fingers, shoulders away from our ears, little crescent moon side stretch over to the right, opening up our side. Good. We're going to come back to center, release our hands, little back bend, and then fold forward. Think about reaching out the whole time you're coming down, nice and easy. Fingertips to the floor or to a block. Inhale, look up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold a little deeper in our forward fold. And we're going to lift our left arm up and around for a twist. I like to keep my head in neutral, but you can allow your gaze to follow your fingertips as they raise into the air if that's more comfortable. And we're going to exhale, both hands back to the floor. A little bend in our knees. Tighten our core to protect our lower back. As we inhale, pull our torso all the way back up. And exhale, back to Tadasana. Okay, we're going to start some moon salutations here. We're going to do, so this is like, we make a big circle. It's my favorite moon salutation. It's one of my favorite little series. We do everything in one direction, and then we come back and do it in the opposite direction. Just need a little drink here before we move on. So, in the type of yoga I teach, there are masculine and feminine poses. We want to bring everything into balance. So, masculine poses would be like sun salutation, warriors. Those are all masculine energy. And then moon salutations, back bends, those are feminine poses. So we always want to bring those into balance. Sun salutations are a great way to start the day. Moon salutations are a great way to end the day. They're supposed to be complete. So they're supposed to kind of get all of your major muscles in. And just like sun salutations, you could do them very fast and that will get your heart rate up. I kind of go at my own pace. You can move them slower if you like as well. If you're familiar, go at your own pace, moving with your breath. We'll catch back up in Tadasana when we're done. This moon salutation is meant that you start and you end up in the same spot on your mat, and you should be able to start in the center. Doesn't work for me. I need to move a little bit, in this case to the left. I don't know why, that's what works out for my body. I just go with it. Try not to give it too much thought. So again, if you're familiar, move at your own pace, moving with your breath. If you're not familiar, follow along with me. Of course, modify if you need to. No pain in yoga. Always come back to your breath. Down dog, child's pose, table, all of those are good resting postures if you need to kind of recenter. So good contact with our feet in Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to inhale our arms up, tracing the moon. We're going to interlace our fingers with our index fingers up, shoulders away from our ears, little crescent moon side stretch to the right. So we're opening up along our side here, shoulders away from our ears, turning our heart chakra up. You can look up if it's comfortable for your neck. We're going to inhale back to center, exhale over to the opposite side. Little crescent moon side stretch. Side stretches are also fall into the feminine energy category. Good. One more breath. We're going to inhale back to center. We're going to step out with our right foot. We're going to come right into goddess. Strong, powerful, confident goddesses. Our hips are sinking down. Try not to let your knees roll in. Our chest is open. Maybe a little military tuck. A little pinch of our shoulder blades. Military tuck to our chin. We'll post arms. Just like this, goddess is the feminine equivalent of warrior, so it brings strength, power, and confidence. Over time, we want to sink deep enough that our thighs are coming parallel to the floor without letting our knees roll in. I have a ways to go, and that's all right. Goddess. We're going to press into our heels and straighten up into five-pointed star. Shoulders are always down and away from our ears. Good. Then we're going to come into triangle. So we're going to turn our right toes towards the wall, left toes turned in slightly. We're reaching out. We're not coming down from our waist. We're reaching out from our hip, out over that leg, and coming down into triangle, Trikonasana. Your hand could be above your knee. It could be below your knee. It could be to your ankle, to the floor, to the block. When I bring my hand lower, my hip kind of rolls forward. So that's not really triangle. You want your hips to stay in alignment, like you're between two panes of glass. So I like to bring my hand under my knee. Left fingers to to the ceiling. You could follow those left fingers, or they can look down at your right toes, or keep your head in neutral. Good, one more breath. We're gonna inhale and lift our torso. We're gonna turn our hips like we're gonna start walking towards the wall. Adjust your stance as you need to, and then pyramid. Again, we're gonna hinge out at our hips. Your hands could be above your knee with a bent knee. They could be reaching towards the floor or on the floor. Full expression here. Our hands are on the mat, and we want that front leg straight. Breathing into areas of tightness. This is a good hamstring stretch. Good. Then we're going to take this to a lunge. So we're going to bend our right knee over our ankle. That keeps our knees safe. And we're going to slide our left toes back until we're in a lunge. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring both hands to the big toe side of our front foot. That gives me a couple more inches to slide my left leg back. You can also drop down to your left knee if you need to. Neutral neck here. One more breath. Our left heel is going to rotate down to the mat. So our left toes are pointing towards me. And we're just going to rotate our palms. Fingertips pointing again towards me. This is a little side lunge. If you're used to my yoga classes, I hardly ever do a side lunge unless it's in the Chandra Namaskar. I don't know why. It's perfectly valid pose. We're going to walk our hands to the center of our mat. Let your feet kind of follow. I bring my feet kind of parallel. Two little squats here. Again, you might be aware of some different versions of this, and that's okay. We're walking our hands over to the opposite side for that side lunge. So our left toes are turned towards the wall, right toes are turned in slightly, and our fingertips are pointing towards me. Good. One more breath. We're going to turn our fingers so they're pointing in the same direction as our left toes. We're going to pivot up on our right toes or down on your right knee. It's okay if you need to drop your knee to adjust here as well. Then we're going to bring one hand on either side of our left foot. This is just our regular old lunge. And from here, we're going to shift our weight back, bringing our right heel to the mat and straightening out our left leg in that pyramid pose. My stance gets a little wide here, so for my comfort, I need to step my back leg in, about 4 inches or so. So make sure you're listening to your body and making adjustments that seem right for you. Left hand comes to our left leg, right fingers to the ceiling. We're back to triangle, Trikonasana. Again, your hand might be deeper than mine, or it might be higher than mine. Just imagine you're between 2 panes of glass. Your drishti, your gaze could be up at your fingers. One more breath. Always engage your core when you're lifting your torso to help protect your lower back. We're going to inhale and come up to 5-pointed star. Toes turn towards the corners of the room. Arms parallel. Goddess. Sinking into goddess. Strong, powerful, confident goddesses that we all are. Good. And then we're going to step our left foot next to our right. Interlace our fingers. Crescent moon side stretch to one side. Inhale back to center. Crescent moon side stretch to the opposite side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands down. Good. So that was half of the Chandra Namaskar. We went all to the right, beautiful circle. Now we're going to go all to the left in a beautiful circle. Notice where you ended up. Did you end up where you started? I did not. I started to the left of center, and I ended up to the right of center, and that's okay. It's all okay. However this works out for you is how it was meant to be for you. I believe there's no wrong choices. I'm also going to take another drink. Sorry, I hate the way I sound drinking and breathing heavy in this microphone, but good. So we're going to resume our second half of our Chandra Namaskar. Again, you might be able to start and end in the center of your mat. I cannot. I need to start a little bit to the right, and that's okay. It's all fine. So come to your comfortable stance, Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take a nice full deep breath here before we start. Inhale, exhale. There we go. No rush. Then from here, we're going to inhale our arms up. Interlace our fingers, shoulders away from our ears. Crescent moon side stretch to the left. Opening up along our side. Looking up if it's comfortable for your neck. We're going to come back to center. Crescent moon side stretch to the opposite side. Again, opening up along our side, turning our heart chakra up. We're going to inhale back to center. We're going to step out with gonna come into goddess. Strong, powerful, confident goddesses. Military tuck to our chin. Bring strength and power and confidence into our lives. One more breath in our goddess. Then we're gonna press into our heels. 5-pointed star. Shoulders are away from our ears. Good. Triangles next. Left toes towards the wall. Right toes turned in slightly. Again, we're reaching out over our leg from our hip. Letting our hand come to wherever it's comfortable. Right fingers to the ceiling. You could follow your fingers. Could be down at your toes, or you can keep your head in neutral. Good. Take a breath. Then our next inhale, we're lifting our torso, turning our hips like we're going to start walking. I have to reposition my stance here, and that's fine. We don't want to put pressure on our knees by holding our stance too rigid. And then we're going to reach out over that straight left leg in runner's pose or pyramid, hands above the knee, reaching towards the floor or on the floor. Blocks here work as well. The goal is to have a nice straight front leg. And we're shifting our weight back. So we're getting that nice hamstring stretch on our left leg. Good. One more breath. And we're going to take this to a lunge. So we're going to bring our left knee directly over our ankle so that it's nice and safe. We're going to pivot up on our right toes and slide that right leg back until we're in a lunge. One of the reasons I like to have a yoga mat and then this yoga carpet on top of it is because it gives a little bit more sliding. Some people don't want to slide, so that wouldn't be good for them. This is the kind of, this yoga carpet, if you get it wet, like if you're doing hot yoga, or if you spray it with water, it becomes more sticky. From here, we're going to bring our hands to the big toe side of our left foot. That lets me slide my right leg back a little bit. You can always drop your back knee if you need to. Good. One more breath, and then side lunge. So our right heel is rotating down to the mat. We're just turning our fingertips to point towards the front. Still sinking into that left knee for that side lunge. Good. And we're going to walk our hands to the center. Bring our feet kind of parallel. Do 2 little squats here. 2 seems right to me. You could do more if you like, or less. We're going to walk our hands over to the opposite side. Right toes are turning towards the wall. Left toes are turned in slightly. We're in that side lunge with our fingers pointing towards the front of the room. Then we're going to pivot our hands so our fingers are pointing in the same direction as our right toes, pivoting up on our left toes. Again, drop your back knee if you need to. Now we're going to bring one hand on either side of that right foot. I have to step my left foot in because I get so wide, and that's okay. And then we're going to shift our weight back. So we're going to let our left heel come to the mat, straightening out our right leg. This is that pyramid or standing runner stretch, neutral neck. Adjust if you need to. Good. Then right hand, we're coming into triangle here. So right hand, block, ankle, leg, whatever you have going on. We're opening our left fingers up into triangle, Utkatasana. Breath. We're going to use our core to lift our torso. 5-pointed star. Goddess. Then we're going to step our right foot next to our left. Interlace our fingers. Crescent moon side stretch to one side. Back to center. Crescent moon side stretch to the opposite side. Inhale back to center. And exhale, hands down. Good. So we're going to do another one of those. We're just going to break it up with a little bit of balance here. So we're going to do figure 4 balance. Excuse me. I feel like I need a cough button. In radio and broadcasting, your microphone, if you're speaking, it has a cough button so that if you have to cough, not everybody needs to hear it. I need that for drinking. Okay, so we're going to do figure 4 balance, and we're going to come back to that figure 4 balance and add on to it a little bit later. But you can always stick with the first version if you like. Stretch out my feet here, my ankles a little bit. So we're starting with our feet under our hips. Then we're going to let our weight come grounding down into our right foot. You can cross your left ankle over. You can stay right here, or you can start to lift that left leg. Help it with your right hand. Just like when we were seated, we want to bring our left ankle over our right thigh. We're going to inhale our arms up and sink back like a chair. Same pose we did when we were seated. We want our chest up and open, shoulders away from our ears. Our hips are pressing down. We're using that leverage of our ankle and our thigh to open up our our hip. Ooh, sorry. Good. Find that stationary object to focus your attention on. It's a little easier once you are able to sit down. One more breath. We're going to straighten back up. Exhale, hands down, and shake out your standing leg a little. Of course, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Utkatasana, feet under our hips. I already forget which foot that we just did. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. I'm going to let my weight come into my right foot. Sorry, I'm going to let my weight come into my left foot. Just make sure you do your other foot. That's weird. This is the problem with not having pupils in the class. If I forgot what side we were on, 6 people would be yelling at me in the class saying, no, we need to do it this way. So weight into our left foot. You can cross your right foot over. You can lift up a little. Woo. Try to do too fast. There we go. We want our ankle above our knee. And we're going to raise our arms and sit back like a chair. Once you're able to sit your bottom back a little, the balance gets a lot easier. Shoulders away from your ears, chest is up and open. Few breaths. Good, beautiful. You're going to straighten up. Utkatasana. Shake out your standing leg a little if you like. We're going to come back to our Chandra Namaskar, our moon salutation. Again, move as fast or as slow as you like. We'll always have a little break to catch back up at the end. You guys might be able to start in the middle of your mat. For me, I'm coming to the left a little bit. We're going to be going to the right the first time through, and the second time through, we'll go in the opposite direction. So again, wherever you're comfortable. Feet are under our hips, good contact with our feet. We always want to start with really grounding ourselves. Sometimes I get excited about what we're doing next, or I don't want to forget to say something. I need to come back to my breath. I need to ground into the floor to start. So we want to let our roots come into the ground. Hands together in prayer position at heart center. Always coming back to our breath. So nice full breath here. There we go. We have lots of time. I don't need to rush. Then we're going to inhale our arms up, tracing the moon, and release our fingers, shoulders away from our ears. Crescent moon side stretch over to the right. Opening up along our side, turning our heart chakra up, looking up if it's comfortable for your neck. Inhale back to center. Crescent moon side stretch to the opposite side. Good, we're going to inhale back to center. We're going to step out with our right foot. Got strong, powerful, confident goddesses. Sometimes this is called horse or victory squat, but whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. Sometimes we need that masculine energy. Sometimes we need that feminine energy. It's all about balance. So goddess, one more breath. Pressing into our heels, 5-pointed star. Triangles next. Right toes towards the wall, left toes turn in slightly. Reaching out over that straight leg. Hand above the knee, below the knee, floor, whatever you got going on. Just your gaze could be up at your wrist fingers. You can stay here, or you can try for that kind of half bind. You bring your arm behind your back, and your hand is actually reaching towards this right thigh. Mine doesn't go that far. That's okay. Arm straight up if you did that bind, half bind. We're going to inhale our torso up. Turn like we're going to start walking. Reaching out with our hips, our torso. Hands above the knee, reaching towards the floor or on the floor. Standing runner stretch. Straight right leg is the goal here so that we get that nice hamstring stretch. We're going to bend our right knee over our right ankle, up on our left toes, slide our left leg back in a lunge. Again, you can drop down to your back knee if you need to, even if it's just to make a quick adjustment. Then both hands to the big toe side of our right foot. That gives me a couple extra inches to slide my left toes back. Good, neutral neck for this one. Left heel rotates down to the mat, so our left toes are pointing towards the front. Pivoting our fingers, so our fingertips are pointing towards the front as well. This is a side lunge. We're going to walk our hands to the center of our mat. Let your feet kind of follow. They're parallel, about parallel, as I do 2 little squats here. Good. we're going to walk our hands over to the opposite side, side lunge. So left toes towards the wall, right toes turned in slightly. Back heel is on the mat. That would be your right heel is on the mat. Right fingertips, both fingertips pointing in the same direction as your right toes. Then we're going to turn our fingers so they're pointing in the same direction as our left toes, but pivoting up on our back toes. I like to slide my leg back so I get a nice stretch here. And then we're going to bring one hand on either side of that left foot. Because I slid my leg back, I have to do a little bit modified version here to get into my regular lunge, and that's okay. One more breath in our lunge. Again, I need to bring my right toes in a little so that when I bring my right heel down, I can comfortably straighten out my left leg in pyramid or standing runner's stretch. Then triangle. So left hand, wherever you like it. Right fingers to the ceiling. You can stay right there, or you can bend. Do that half bind where you're bending that right hand behind your back. Your right fingers are reaching towards that left thigh. It's okay if you can't make it. And we're going to raise our fingers back up. Engage our core here. Lift our torso, five-pointed star. Goddess. Strong, powerful, confident goddesses. Left foot next to our right. Interlace our fingers. Crescent moon side stretch to one side. Back to center. Crescent moon side stretch to the opposite side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands down. Chandra, Namaskar. So, we're going to move on. We're going to move back to our figure four balance. The next part is a little bit of a challenge, and that's okay. It doesn't have to look pretty. You don't have to do it. Nobody will know. We're going to do our figure four balance. We're going to try to fold forward and then walk our hands back into a down dog, figure four down dog actually, and we're going to try to bring them back in. So that's our core strength here, balance, all kinds of stuff going on. But just stick with your regular figure four balance if that's what you prefer. So I'm coming towards the back end of our mat, because again, we're going to be making our way into down dog, or I hope we are. Take that breath, ground into the floor. There we go. Then our weights come into our left foot. Again, you can do the little kickstand. You can lift that right leg up. A little bending your left knee can help. Use your hands to help get you into position. Figure four balance. You can stay right here if you like, or you can straighten out your left leg and fold forward. If you're familiar with my class, we do a lot of folding forward from some standing balances. And you get to a point where you're like, oh, I can't do it, or you maybe have a block here. But often if you trust yourself, you can bring your hands to the floor. Always your choice though. Be comfortable. You can stay right here, or you can walk your hands forward until you're in a figure four down dog. 3 breaths here if you can. Hands back towards our left foot, putting a bend in our left knee. Always engaging our core here as we lift our torso up. We're trying to come back to our regular figure four balance. See if I can do it. Oh, a little help from the wall. Oh, I didn't make it. Maybe you did. One more breath. We're going to straighten out our standing leg. Back to Utkatasana. Shake it out here a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Struggling in balance is fine. It automatically makes you tighten your core. Lots of things affect your balance. Maybe you're trying to think of what we're doing next. Maybe you're thinking about the laundry that you hear is done. It's all okay. Just let it come and go and accept what is right now. So, figure four balance on the opposite side. Utkatasana. Weights grounding into our right foot. Again, you can do the little kickstand. You can still fold forward if you're in the kickstand version. Or you can start to raise that left leg up. Help it along with your hand if you like. Sitting back into figure four balance. No need to go anywhere further. You are balancing. You're opening up your hip. You have everything going on right here. So feel fine. Feel comfortable. Be proud of yourself if you're staying right here in this balance pose. Or if you want to try a little bit extra challenge, straighten out our right leg and fold forward. Good. Okay, you could be reaching towards the floor. You can use a block here if you like, but for me, I get to be like 8 inches and I have to trust myself. And I do. If I never tried it, I would never know that I could do it. We're gonna take a breath here. Again, you can stay here, or you can start to walk your hands forward until you're in kind of down dog, figure 4 down dog. Lots of stuff is going on here, but if you're comfortable, we're still using the leverage of our ankle against our thigh to press our left knee back, so we're opening up our hip. Right now, I feel more of the stretch on my right hamstring. That's what's going on in my body, and that's okay. Try to keep a little bend in your right knee. We're going to try to walk our hands back towards our foot. Good. A little bend. Take it slow. Engage your core. We're coming back up to that seated pose, that wall. And then Utkatasana. Whew! Shake it out a little. Good. From here, we're going to come towards the top end of our mat. We're going to make our way down to the floor. We're just going to take a breath first. As we exhale, we're going to ground into our feet. We're going to inhale our arms up. Little mini back. Open up your heart chakra. And then exhale, fold forward. Reaching out as you come down. Lengthen your spine. Hands to the mat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold a little deeper in our forward fold. And then step walk or jump into plank, high push-up position. Slowly lower down. Drop your knees when you need to. Hover if you can. We're going to hold cobra a little bit longer here. So hands under your shoulders. Bend elbows for baby cobra. Straight arms for full cobra. You could also be in up dog here. We're just going to breathe here for a few breaths. Opening up our heart chakra. Tipping our chin up. Just your gaze could be where the ceiling won't meet. 3 breaths. On our next exhale, we're coming all the way down to the floor. We're going to start off in Sphinx here. Our elbows are under our shoulders, forearms to the mat. We're going to do a thread the needle twist here. It's one of my favorites. I'm probably a little close to the wall for this to be great. So you might need to give yourself a little bit of room. Or turn on your mat so you're in the opposite direction. Sometimes yoga is about the process. So you could do the same twist without all the steps. But I like to make this more meditative, more thinking about it. And a little forewarning, if you haven't done this before, let your legs be comfortable. Don't hold them in a rigid spot. We don't want to put stress on our knees. So we're going to kind of lift our right elbow off the mat. Our left hand comes up, palm up. Our left arm slides under our right. That's the thread the needle part. We kind of roll onto our left side. My top leg kind of comes over my bottom leg. My knee is bent. That's the part where you want your legs comfortable. We're going to straighten out both arms like a crocodile. My head is off the mat here. And then we're going to inhale that top arm up and around for a twist. When you get there, you can press into your head and adjust your shoulders. You can press into your shoulder to adjust your head. Just walking your head, shoulders until you're in your best twist. A few breaths. This is one of my favorite twists to do. The shortcut is if you're laying on your side, crocodile arms, and then you just rotate your top arm instead of doing the thread the needle bit. One more breath. And then we're going to come back into Sphinx, elbows under our shoulders. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So, kind of, nope. We're going to lift our left elbow off the mat. Right hand comes up, palm up. Our right arm slides under our left. That's the thread the needle part. Sort of roll onto your right side. Legs comfortable. Heads off the mat. Crocodile arms, I know you can't see them. And then we're going to inhale our top arm up and around for a twist. And then do that head and shoulder walk until you're in your best stretch. Holding for a few breaths. If you feel some tightness of your skin pulling kind of on the top of your armpit, bend your elbow. Doesn't change the twist, but it'll take that little bit of tight skin pressure off. Make sure your head is in a comfortable position. Twists fall into the masculine category. So do down dogs, forward folds, all of those are masculine energy. So we're just balancing out some of the feminine energy from our moon salutations. One more breath. Making our way back into Sphinx. And then we're going to come into Cobra, Baby Cobra, or Up Dog, whatever you like. Hands under your shoulders. Straighten your arms to wherever you're comfortable. Tip your chin up. If you're in Cobra and want to bend your knees, working towards bringing your toes towards your head, you can do that here. Even if you're nowhere near, my toes are nowhere near my head, and that's okay. And then we're going to press, walk our hands back until we're in Child's Pose. Just by the nature of the position I was in with my knees bent, my knees are wide here for wide knee Child's Pose. That's fine. Regular extended Child's Pose is also fine. Forehead towards the floor. Let your back open and spread. Again, Child's Pose would fall into the masculine category. It's a forward fold. You're just balancing out some of that feminine energy. Ideally, your forehead, your third eye is in contact with something. That's a pressure point that tells our body to relax. It could be the floor. That's full expression. I don't like my face that close to the mat. Maybe your face doesn't reach that close to the mat. You can bring one hand on top of the other and your forehead to your hands. That's what I like. Or forehead to your block. Any of those are fine. Good, one more breath. And then we're going to make our way up to a seated pose. Staff, Tadasana. Good, and just like in the beginning of our class, let's just do a little hip walk, lifting our hips up, walking forward, kind of like a train, backwards. Just loosening our hips. We worked on them today. Maybe we built up some tension. Good, back to Tadasana, staff pose. Good contact with our sits bones. We're going to do a forward fold from here. Try to keep your legs engaged, military tuck to your chin, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, reaching as you come down. Lengthen your spine, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Then let your hands come down, head and shoulders relax. Don't worry where your hands are. I'm doing the same stretch whether my hands are next to my thighs, if they're on my shins, ankles, or feet. If you feel like you're at your feet and you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can start to stack blocks up behind your feet. Good, one more breath. And then from here, we're going to inhale and come up. And we're going to take about 1.5 minutes to finish out your practice. So anything you want to do before relaxation. Inversions are always great, especially in human breathing. Those yogis can do some inversions in human breathing. So now is your time. Shoulder stand, handstand, headstand, forearm stand. Any of those are fine. Maybe you always like a bridge before you fall into Savasana. Maybe you want to repeat something we did earlier, or maybe I left out your favorite pose. For some reason, I always need to do a rotated stone posture before relaxation, and that's fine. Just listen to your body. After we're finishing up our last poses, we'll be coming into a Savasana, corpse pose, for the remainder of class, our relaxation. So if you'd like to do any prep for that, socks, blanket, eye pillow, now is also a good time for that. And maybe a little happy baby. Maybe just a little rocking from side to side. If you've done something on one side and you need to do it on the opposite side, now is a good time for that. And then when you're ready, you can start to make your way into a Savasana pose, corpse pose. Excuse me, one more drink here. Anything you could be comfortable in for the last few minutes of class. You could be lying on your back with your knees bent, feet on the floor. Your legs could be extended. If your legs are extended, you might want to bring your heels out to the edges of the mat and let your feet flop open. In a traditional Hatha Yoga class, our arms are at our sides, our hands are lower than our heart, and our palms are facing up in a gesture that's open and receptive. You can press down into your elbows and tuck your shoulder blades under. You can lift your chin, or lift your head, tip your chin, and then relax into Savasana. Once again, let everything from the outside world fade away as you focus on your breathing, breathing in and out, breathing in and out. If you set a goal or an intention, now is a good time for that. Make any adjustments you need to allow you to relax, let go completely, and breathe. Think about your toes. Relax and release your toes. Relax the tops of your feet, soles of your feet. Relax your heels. Breathe. Think about your ankles and feel the tension melt away. Relax your lower legs, shins, calves, back of your knees, side of your knees, your kneecaps. Relax your thighs, hips, pelvis. Relax your bottom. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax. Release to the floor. Relax your lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax your belly, sides, ribs, and chest. Breathe. Think about your fingers. Relax and release your fingers. Relax the palms of your hands, back of your hands. Relax your wrists. Relax your lower arms, elbows, and upper arms. Relax your shoulders. Feel the tension melt away. Relax your neck, jaw, chin. Relax your tongue. Relax your teeth, cheeks, all around your eyes. Relax your brow. Inhale, and as you exhale, relax. Release to the floor. Relax your entire body. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax. Release. Let go. And breathe. Now slowly begin to bring attention back to your breath. Let's focus on your breathing, breathing in and out. Begin to bring attention back into your body. You can glute your fingers, your toes. You can gently turn your head from side to side, moving and stretching any way that feels right. Bringing your knees in towards your chest before gently rolling to one side. Pausing, breathing, before making your way up slowly to a seated pose, with your eyes closed or softly gazing. And then once more, close your eyes, take a breath, notice how you're feeling. Know you can find your way to peace and well-being by concentrating on your breath, being in the present moment. Bring your hands together in prayer position at heart center. The light and love of me honors the light and love of you. Namaste. Once again, I'm Jessie. Thank you for joining me. I'll be teaching yoga at 10:30 next Sunday as well. And I do the Monday meditations at 9 o'clock, 9 to 9:15. So I hope to see you then. We'll be doing a progressive muscle relaxation, so it's a nice relaxing relaxation. And check Human Breathing Yoga Studios Facebook page for all their streaming classes.